My mother-in-law is extremely controlling. We had to move to another country.
This country ain't big enough for the both of us.
Specifically for you. Get out. I, 39 female, met my husband, 39 male, 17 years ago. Instant connection. Butterflies, love. In a matter of months, he introduced me to his parents. I would occasionally take part in his family events, and I didn't see anything wrong. I even thought his parents were caring. I had lost mine long before meeting my husband, so I thought he was lucky to have them and encouraged him to cherish every moment spent together. By the way, this comes from user L to the Yeah. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, boy, was I wrong. Since day one, my husband's mother was all about control, not love. For years, we thought mother-in-law was the driving force in her marriage and that father-in-law merely followed her lead, no matter the madness she pulled him into. Maybe that's true, but they were in it together for sure. Here's a short list of the things mother-in-law did to us over the years. She told anyone who would listen that our wedding day was a sham. Right after the wedding, she complained to husband that he had failed to show her the respect she was due and that he should thank her for not making a fuss on the day. We had paid for everything and didn't think it was an issue, but the lack of control drove her mad. She tried to convince husband to divorce me every time I went on a work trip, as if my decision not to be a stay-at-home wife or mom, like she was a personal attack on her. Of course, she never said anything to my face. Sunday lunches were all about fake smiles and inconsequential chit-chat. She sabotaged the adoption process we had undertaken with discriminatory statements, even though she knew how important it was to us. She and father-in-law decided that a grandchild without their blood couldn't be a grandchild, so they expected us to give up. They seriously thought we would bend to their will and change our life plans for them. They almost got what they wanted. I seriously considered leaving my husband to protect my future child from his toxic parents.
Dang, man.
Wow.
You gotta go no contact with these people.
Yeah, what are we saying? What are we doing? Life works in mysterious ways. And I got pregnant. During my pregnancy, I received hateful emails. The kind of emails so detached from reality that I realized mother-in-law seriously needed psychiatric help.
Well, don't call the psychiatrist from last time, because he's useless.
He'll just be like, dude, she's
a lost cause.
There's nothing I can do here. She's got more than one problem. It was a difficult birth, and I even found myself saying goodbye to husband once he had our perfect angel in his arms. When husband called his parents to share the news, he decided to go no contact for the first time. Their utter disregard for whether I lived or passed away was what got to him. He had gone through the biggest scare of his life, and they couldn't care less. Instead, they screamed at him for waiting until I was out of the woods to call them, on some controlling nonsense as always. Anything to remind husband that he was their son before he was my husband or a father. They ambushed us into social events with lies. They would invite us to a birthday party, but we would be the only ones bringing gifts. There was no birthday party. It was just an event with people we didn't know and distant relatives to showcase mother-in-law as the family matriarch she had never been. They hacked our emails, stole private photos of husband and I, and showed them around, calling me a pornography actress within their circles. We only learned about this years later through a relative who finally decided to speak out about their Unfortunately, it was too late to press charges. I felt utterly violated. That was the moment I knew it was over for me. No more trying to understand where they were coming from. Mother-in-law screamed at husband for his disrespect every time he suggested individual therapy. As a result, husband started walking on eggshells, becoming a shell of himself around them to avoid irrational outbursts against me or us. They showed no empathy or support when husband's best friend suddenly passed away in an accident. It was devastating for us and still is. They didn't care. As harsh as it sounds, I don't think they comprehend what love is. They mimic what they see, but inside they are incapable of empathy, kindness, or benevolence. They threatened to sue us every time we didn't go their way. For what, you ask? Well, if they couldn't control their son, they would try to get unsupervised time with our kids to keep a hold on him through them. Not that they would ever succeed. I'm sure they lied through their teeth trying, but it revealed their fundamental problem. You don't lead your life the way they want. Of course, they're going to threaten you with legal proceedings. Who does that? These people who are
crazy.
Awful. They showed up uninvited to our house when they knew dear husband would not be there. There are countless other examples, including some that made me fear for the safety of our kids. At some point, it simply became too much. Too many boundaries were crossed. Husband firmly told them about his decision to fully go no contact with no coming back. He wished them peace and the courage to deal with their own unresolved traumas. That was 3 years ago. We even moved to another country to drive home the point. The cycle of dysfunction in this family would end with us. I am deeply proud of husband for putting his foot down to protect me and our family, even if it took him years. He needed time to untangle why his parents preferred him miserable rather than free from their psychological hold, why outdated social appearances within their small circle mattered more to them than their son's happiness, and why we had tolerated them for so long. He realized there was never any love and no hope that it would ever come, which is a shattering realization. Many bad childhood memories came back to him. Memories of neglect, humiliation, that he had pushed aside to keep the peace. Now, in response, there is love everywhere under our roof. Husband is the most loving, caring, and attentive father one could ever wish for. Well, thank goodness the apple fell and rolled like way far away from the
super
tree.
far from the
Rolled
tree.
all the way down the hill like one of those Chef Boyardee cans.
It was more of a
from those
dandelion,
ads.
honestly.
Oh, with the little...
And it flew away.
Cool.
Too far.
Dandelion husband. Get yourself a dandelion husband.
Or what's the other one? Is it a pine cone? Which one? There's like another one that like flies really far away. Like another
pine cone.
Not a pine, but like another, like it looks like a pine cone. You know? Looks like one of the pine cone things.
The whirligigs?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
I do not know.
But
You ever seen no whirligigs?
Leonardo da Vinci modeled his spiral.
Over the whirligig.
Okay, well anyway.
Still, several times out of the year, out of the blue, dear husband receives emails from his mother. Delusional and violent emails. He never replies. I blocked her and father-in-law long ago, changed my email, phone number, and everything else to avoid being used as a pawn in their games. They are over 70, yet the only fuel they need to live 100 more years seems to be hating us. Hating me for daring to escape their grip. Why they never showed this side before our wedding is beyond me. Somehow, a switch flipped on that day. The masks fell off. We are far away from them now, but I can't stop being afraid. They are unhinged. The last email came just a couple of days ago. Husband showed me their words don't hurt him anymore. He's immune to their venom. But for me, their dedication to reminding us that they are there lurking in the corner, planning for a way back in is terrifying. I feel like it will never be over. Well, I mean, you literally moved countries.
Yeah. Hopefully they can't get
okay.
but the whole thing with them hacking into your stuff is scary because, you know,
Change your password.
change all of your passwords. Get lock everything down.
Yeah.
Get some sort of security on your computer. How good at hacking are they?
Who?
Because it seems like they're kind of good at hacking.
I'm in.
They're hackers?
Yeah, that's what they said. They
I don't
hacked into
know.
stuff.
They probably just knew a password or something.
Yeah. Did they hack or did they just know a password?
Maybe
Did
the
they
password's
hack?
maybe the
Were they
password's just
hacking?
so easy. Maybe it's like 1, 2, 3.
Like, how did they get in?
In the end, they won. At least in one way. They managed to control a major aspect of our lives, where we live. Coming back to my country, to my family and close friends, is out of the question for now. I'm too scared they will find out and all heck will break loose. That's when you just get the police involved.
Yeah, if you're like terrified to go back to the country.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I want a restraining order against these people.
Exactly.
You might not be able to get, press charges for the stuff they've done in the past, but you could probably get a restraining order.
Yeah, there are avenues to have these people face consequences. Thanks for letting me vent. I hope this was easier to read than it was for me to write. My heart goes out to anyone dealing with toxic parents or in-laws. Save yourselves. Break free as soon as you can. If not for you, then for your kids. In my experience, the more there is left unchecked, the worse it gets. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, get out of there.
It's like when you let people get away with bad stuff, it's like they'll keep doing the bad stuff they're getting away with.
No one's going to stop me.
That's crazy. We have some comments. Ooh, we have a comment here. Let's read it.
Ooh-wee.
Comment 1. Dang. Your husband should set their emails to go directly to junk and then automatically delete them. No one needs reminding how unhinged they are. I'm so glad he was able to break their cycle. OP says, I agree with you. Many times I ask husband why he would not do that. He says he keeps this channel open because he wants to see what they're up to. I don't know how he manages to stay so composed. I guess they hurt him so much he can't be nothing but detached now. And there is an update. Let's go. So
he's still talking to them? Or at least still keeps...
He just lets them send emails just to be like, I guess I should see what they're doing. And then they just send emails like, blah, we're going to come get you. And then he's like, all right, I guess they're still bad.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hold out hope on this one.
Yeah, I don't know. If they're not affecting you, just don't show them to your wife. Don't show them to OP.
Definitely don't.
OP, if these emails are affecting you, don't read them.
That's true.
Anyway, let's get into it. In my previous post, I mentioned that my mother-in-law would send emails to my husband out of the blue along the year. Emails where she pretends not knowing why husband stopped all communication. Last time his parents heard from him was through a long email in which husband told them that enough was enough. He basically reminded them of most of the bullet points in my previous post, so as to conclude that their toxicity had brought irreversible damage to their relationship based on facts only. They can't deny anything, so they'd rather ignore it. Up to this point, they had a tendency to show up unannounced at our home. This, in addition to their threats of legally defending their grandparents' visitation rights, just to maintain a minimum level of control over husband, since, as you can imagine, they don't care about our children, and catching them in schemes to pick up our kids from school without our permission, made us decide to move abroad. This madness had to stop, and we wanted to start over. We were privileged and lucky enough to get job opportunities in another country right when we needed it, despite the vid context back then. Within a couple of months, we were out. We never told mother-in-law and father-in-law anything since we were no contact. Not when we left, not which country we were moving to, not what we were doing or for how long, nothing. Not a goodbye, since husband felt that his last email was crystal clear and the only goodbye that they needed. We are now more than 2 years later. Last year, mother-in-law emailed husband to casually drop the name of the country and city we were living in. As a reminder, I blocked my in-laws everywhere. Husband deleted all his social media. The only open channel that husband keeps with his parents is email. He never replies. He just wants to read what they're up to. And as some of you suggested in comments last time, now he also wants to document their lies, threats, and harassment.
I thought for a second that she was saying that she emailed asking.
Nope.
But no, she knew where they were.
She said, "You're in Belarus, in this city."
Who's her informant?
I don't know.
Is
dude.
she hacking again?
Is she a hacker?
She's a freaking hacker.
Next time she's going to just send you like geo coordinates.
Yeah,
of, like,
she's
your
like, I
exact
know where you
position.
are. Exactly.
What a hacker.
Scary.
So that time, though, I kind of freaked out. Like, how in the heck could mother-in-law get that information? Why don't she and father-in-law let go of us and do something else with their life? Husband, again, checked everything and asked the rare relatives he trusts and kept in touch with how mother-in-law could end up knowing what country and city we're living in. To this day, we still don't know. And now for the latest update. We live in one of the least developed countries in the world, the UN says. A lot of things are not working here. For instance, I can't say there's a postal service. Heck, the streets are not named. When you want to go somewhere by taxi, you say near X school, behind Y market, by Z monument. So I can confidently tell you that no one in our country of origin knew about our address. Yet the unexpected recently happened. We received a letter hand-delivered to husband. On the envelope, like a stab in our hearts, we instantly recognized mother-in-law's writing. My question is, how do you think mother-in-law pulled this off? Hacking our emails again? But our address is nowhere to be found. Dude, your mother-in-law is like
That's insane.
Asset
A lot of people
government
are,
agencies.
So get the FBI on her, man.
What?
I feel like she must have got some sort of PI because a couple people are like Deirdre Statham said PI, Sophia Colon said PI. I feel like if they don't have an actual address, then she must have done something.
This is absurd.
She's too good at this.
You need to get the UN involved.
Yeah.
You need to get
At this
the
point.
UN.
The entire UN involved.
You need to
The
get
whole
the
UN
UN
working on this.
to prosecute your mother-in-law
Yeah.
and get her to stop.
because she's so good at like she's a spy. Literally,
She's a
yeah.
freaking
She's
spy,
a spy.
man.
Mother-in-law and father-in-law are more than 70 years old. For frick's sake, they cannot pull off such a level of hacking. Can they? Husband says they had to hire someone like a PI. I am skeptical. One thing is for sure, it had to be illegal. Snooping in places I wouldn't even know where to snoop. First, mother-in-law sent an email to let us know she knows where we were. Now she tells us she knows exactly where we live and can reach us no matter how many oceans between us, which was the only purpose of the letter. I'm afraid of what's next. Am I being paranoid? What would you do? Honestly, I don't think you're being paranoid anymore.
No. I mean, I didn't really think you were necessarily being paranoid before, but like now you're definitely not. This person is a very high grade stalker.
Move back to your country
Yeah.
and fight her.
You gotta fight her
You
now,
have to
man.
Move back to your country.
No, I
give
don't
her a
know.
little-
Can you get some sort of restraining order or anything?
And then you go, did you have problem finding that?
It's
And then
like, you
she'll
don't
leave you
need to
alone.
come find me because I'm coming to you.
I'm going to come find you and give you the old knuckle sandwich for lunch.
Yeah.
Comments.
Okay, wow.
Wow, I'm on one today, folks. Comments. Comment number 1, somebody you trusted told her flat out they believe her lies and gave you guys up to help her fix the family disconnect. Nothing you can do but ignore her BS now. Do you think she might show up, or are you letting your fear of her ruin your life? You are 1 or 2 countries away from her, right? I mean, well, she literally knows exactly where they are, so she
Yeah.
could send like in the mail if she wanted to. Which is crazy. It doesn't necessarily mean one of your confidants told her. She may have a friend who is a friend in the right place, moving company, previous employer, police, or customs agent. Even the transfer of medical info can be the lead an investigator needs. It is very hard to hide in the modern world unless you walk away from everything. All friends and all family, leaving behind even your belongings, bank cards, and records. Even then, you'd use your passport somewhere to cross a border unless you had fake ones made to escape. Someone's verifying your credentials for the education or experience you claim. The world is so interconnected. Really, your only real escape is to get on a boat and sail to random locations. Just go straight
Get on a boat and sail to an island.
Mode.
Yeah, Tintin.
It's time to go Tintin mode. Okay.
Tintin had his ID stolen though.
Yeah, but like Tintin just like flew a plane into the
That's
desert.
true.
Like,
Yeah, do
wandered
that.
around.
Do it that
It's
way,
like,
and then
no
you'll
one
find
knows where Tintin is.
Mm-mm.
People disappear that way all the time, virtually untraceable except where they land. By the time she gets a line on you, you'll have to set sail again.
Oh my God, why are you recommending that OP just never stops moving?
Like, this is you go back to this.
She's a 70-year-old
Yeah,
woman.
she's an old
Obviously,
lady.
it's clear that this is like, dangerous and she's, causing a lot of problems. But can we get some sort of law enforcement?
Dude, I'm going back. I'm not even kidding. Like, if this is the case, I'm going back there. I'm showing up at their house and I'm intimidating them.
Yeah, it's like,
what? I'm flipping the Uno reverse card on them.
Yeah, and then you send them a letter back and you're like, I know where you live and I'm not going to stop. I could be there any moment.
You just send them a
I'm
letter
there
that
right
says,
now.
It says, on my way.
And I'm here.
And then time it so that right when they read it, you go, knock, knock, knock. And then you're at the door. Yes.
Brilliant.
And then you go,
Or you do
I'm crazy.
You bite them.
Or you do like the cryptic
Bite 'em.
mail, like from the magazine mail, like you like chop up all the letters.
Oh, yeah. You're like, I know where you live.
Yeah.
Bite them.
No.
Update. This is update number 2. We have managed to remain no contact despite his parents always trying to reach out and certainly using questionable means to track us and let us know that there is no escaping them. Why they'd spend energy to keep a toxic hold on their son rather than simply respect and love him will always be beyond me. I used to worry about what they'd do next and how to protect my children, but seeing my husband so adamant to keep no contact over the years has somewhat reassured me. In these years of no contact, my husband would even say things like, I don't even know if I'd go to their funeral. Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
I'd be the one causing their funeral.
Yeah, you're like,
Okay,
well,
that's-
now you've
Honestly, they'll bring the funeral to you.
now you found me because you show up to their funeral.
Like
Dude,
a
it's just
like a
like-
care package mail drop casket right on your house.
Oh, damn.
I can't. If someone did this to me, I would have no tolerance for this.
Yeah.
Like finding where I live after I leave
But
and like sending a letter to my house. I'm like going back. Like, the son of these monsters needs to go back and handle this.
Yeah. I wonder I'm kind of confused what they're threatening. Like just that they know where they live.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like absurd.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm going to show back up and I'm going to go into your house. I'm going to take all your pens. I'm going to take all your paper. I'm going to rip the router out of your wall. I'm going to bust all your phones. And then I'm going to go back to where I live.
Okay.
I'm going to go, peace out, mom and dad.
Peace out.
I'm advocating for violence today.
Watch out, everyone.
Fast forward to today. His mom wrote to him to let him know that his father had prostatic cancer and was supposed to go to surgery. That having news from his son would boost his morale. I can't imagine his mom lying about this. I told him that he is free to reach out if he feels like it. That it's not because I can't ever see them again, that our children will never see them again. They went way too far with me, that he can't do so. That was I don't know what that was supposed to say, but I think that she was saying regardless of how we feel or what has been done to us, you can reach out to your dad if you need to. We don't live in the same country anymore, so maybe it's easy for me to say, but I told him that whatever his reasons, I'd support him if he wanted to reply to the email or call them or anything, even if his reason is simply not having regrets tormenting him after his father or both of his parents pass away. He said no, he doesn't want to reach out, that this ship has sailed, that he wouldn't even know what to say. No contact is no contact, that as I know very well, his parents stopped being parents a long time ago, if they ever were. No, he won't have any regrets, that they should be the ones feeling remorse, that they never apologized for anything, so no, they can go ahead and pass away. Of course, it would be sad, but it would be sad for them, not for him. He knows that his father must be living his worst nightmare, having his mother be his primary caregiver. I don't know. I wonder if being so detached today will not make him collapse after one of them passes away. I know it makes perfect sense on paper. No contact is no contact, no matter what. He stopped being their son on the day he decided that enough was enough. And by the way, if you've had enough, which is unlikely. And
No
you
way.
just,
Not possible.
if you just can't get enough,
Ooh, that's better.
OK Storytime, you can listen to full episodes with stories like this on iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just search the name of this show, OK Storytime, and you'll find 1,200 plus hours of stories to listen to. And we do have a little bit left of this story.
Oh, man.
So are you reaching out?
No. Well,
You know I'm not today. I'm not today.
no.
I'm not reaching
Because
out.
I'm thinking about, like, if I was in OP's situation, of course I wouldn't reach out. But, like, from the situation of OP's partner, I don't know what, like, I guess it depends on what he wants from this, like, from reaching out. Like, what does he expect to get from it?
You'd probably get nothing.
Yeah.
You'd
So
probably
it's like,
just get your mom
what is the
yelling at
point?
you, being like, "You're a terrible son,
Yeah.
and your father is sick, and you need to come home, and you're bad, and you're terrible."
So I feel like sending a letter kind of open. I mean, obviously they already know where you live, so that's already opened a certain line of communication. But I feel like you sending a letter back, or I mean, your partner sending a letter back, kind of opens it both ways, which is not necessarily what you want.
So I'm turning to you today. Am I right to worry? Strangely, I feel very detached too. Girl, that is not strange.
It's
These
not
are
strange.
demons that
Yeah.
have been hunting
They're
you
cray-cray.
down. You live in the most undeveloped country on earth just to try to get away from them. And even still, they find you.
They find you anywhere.
Of course, you want to be detached from them. But they're not my parents. I can't know what my husband is going through or what he's likely to feel when they pass away. My mother passed away when I was young, and it destroyed me. But because she was a real mother, and I loved her with every fiber of my being, I don't know what it's like to go no contact with dysfunctional parents in life or afterwards. What would your advice be? Has anyone gone through this? Please respond. Comment, I was no contact with my father for 18 months before his passing. I didn't regret having gone no contact after. Being sick or passing away doesn't change the fact that they are horrible people. Your husband more than likely did his grieving when he cut them off. OP says, thank you for sharing your experience. And I ask if you went to the funeral. I think I dread the day one of them passes away because I don't know if my husband will have a change of heart then and expect me to go with him for support. I sure as heck won't. It would be too hypocritical of me, and I won't be able to pretend that they were good people to begin with and that God took them too soon. Why you don't have to say that? They're old. Once you go to over 70, it's like God's not taking you too soon.
Well, but I think it's like this
God's
idea
just
that when you
taking
go
it.
to the funeral, you have to be sad and show deference and stuff to the people that are being honored that day. And so just that confusing feeling of not having those emotions towards them.
I would go to his funeral. And I would set up like
Projector.
a little basketball hoop over his casket, and I
And
would
dunk on it?
I would move through the line of people going up to the wake,
That's
and I would
insane.
like dribble, like spin, and then I would slam dunk.
You really are.
I think you
that
just tell
casket.
them,
You
you
are
just tell
really on one
everyone what
today, I'm not
happened
gonna
with
lie.
these parents, but like you kind of frame it in a different way. You're like,
Well, what a better
I
way?
was always so impressed that they had such good hacking skills that they could find us
Listen,
two
yeah.
countries away.
for me, if it's a stalker, nonetheless, if it's a friend, family member, stranger, you were a stalker and you didn't respect my boundaries, I feel like, you already had that mindset of like, I'm done with this person. And then you're like, oh, they passed away. Oh, I regret that.
Yeah.
If they really pushed my buttons to that extent of like, I gave you pretty much 3 strikes and you just didn't listen, you're out of here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Dude, they made you fear for your
You made-
children.
yeah,
They
you
made
fear for
you
your
move
life.
countries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fully.
Yeah, never
Little
talk to these
Fire
people.
Girl says, Day in Dakota, that went dark. No, it didn't. Slam dunk. If anything, that's absurdist, lighthearted humor. A slam dunk
everything's-
on a little tyke basketball hoop at the funeral
On the
of
grave.
your worst stalker.
Yeah,
Come
your
on.
nemesis.
I could get a lot darker than that.
Uh-oh.
Anyway,
let's
reply says, funerals aren't for the passed away, they're for the living. If there are people that want to support after one of his parents passes away, he could always schedule something himself to ensure his mother or other parent won't be there. I believe his mother would use the opportunity to berate your husband for abandoning his father and causing his passing. It's happened many times before. Just support him as best you can and try to offer him other solutions that will protect his and your peace.
Bingo.
And that is the end of that story.
Dang, man. A lot happened there. Yeah,
That
stay away
was a
from these
lot.
people.